And joining me now is Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. Senator, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. So we want to talk about a lot with you this evening, but let's start with infrastructure. How confident are you this bipartisan infrastructure bill will make it across the finish line in both the Senate and the House?
Jenna, I'm very optimistic. I'm certain it'll make it out of the Senate within the next couple of days. The bipartisan core group of 10 senators that have worked tirelessly on this for months have gotten us this far because of their close relationships, because they've drafted a strong bill, and frankly, because President Biden and the Biden administration has negotiated regularly and in good faith with them. I think we're going to get more than 60 votes to get this bill out of the Senate. I'm hopeful that the House will take it up quickly and get it to the president's desk. But just to remind folks who are watching, this will fund more than $500 billion in new infrastructure, whether that's roads or rail, whether that's ports, airports. It'll help our country move more efficiently, more quickly, but it's also going to put hundreds of thousands of people to work, about 650,000 more jobs a year in high-skilled, high-paying jobs. And it'll help deliver on the infrastructure of the 21st century, things like broadband. In far too many rural communities in our country, people still don't have the ability to work remotely or to connect with a doctor or for their students, their kids to take school over the internet. And that's something we've all come to appreciate during the pandemic, that we need to invest more in broadband. So I'm very hopeful this bill is going to get to the president's desk in the next couple of weeks.
It's something that lawmakers have tried to do for a long, long time. And so this is certainly a big moment. Congress and the Biden administration recently made a big change to the child tax credit. Do you think this will become permanent, Senator?
You know, I don't know. My hope is that over the next couple of years, the dramatic impact this is already having on child poverty all over our country, in rural communities and urban communities, will persuade policymakers from both parties that it is worth making permanent. We have far too many children in the United States who grew up in poverty, who grew up hungry, who grew up having challenges learning in school. And this will make a dramatic and direct difference in the quality of their lives and in the quality of our country, in that we will be committed to fighting child poverty.
All of this brings up the issue of cost and national debt. Under this administration and with Democrats controlling Congress, Senator, we're seeing a big push for government handouts and big spending like we've never seen before. Does the cost of programs like these concern you when you also think about the growing national debt?
Yes, the national debt concerns me. I never thought we'd vote for $4 trillion so far in pandemic relief. But I also recognize that we've been able to avoid a second Great Depression, a collapse of our economy, because we've made significant investments in the average American family, in schools, in governments, in healthcare centers. Look, we've had more than 35 million Americans infected with COVID-19. More than 600,000 Americans have lost their lives, and millions of businesses have shut down. Just on Monday, I had the small business administrator visiting in my home state of Delaware. We went and visited several different small businesses that are open today and employing people today because of the funding that we distributed through the SBA to tens of thousands of small businesses in my state of Delaware.
I also want to talk to you about a piece of legislation that you are behind. You've introduced a bipartisan bill aimed at expanding national service by giving those who volunteer a pathway to pay for college or student debt. Where does this bill stand right now?
Well, Jenna, the Bipartisan Core Act, which I've introduced now in 2 Congresses and has very broad bipartisan support, was a big piece of what encouraged President Biden to put money in the American Rescue Plan that we passed back in January. It added $1 billion to AmeriCorps, doubling it in size for this year. There's 75,000 Americans, literally in every state in the country, serving as members of AmeriCorps, for young people who dedicate a year of their lives to serving our country here within our own borders and helping with disaster response, with mentoring and tutoring children, with working with veterans groups, or working with community-based groups that are combating opioid addiction. They've had a dramatic and positive impact. During the COVID pandemic, AmeriCorps programs all over the country have partnered with faith communities to deliver badly needed assistance, whether it's through food pantries or clothes banks, whether it's visiting shut-in seniors who needed help accessing health care or working on public health issues. AmeriCorps members have helped bring our country together and given young people an opportunity to earn their way to college through national service. So I'm hopeful it will continue to be expanded in bills that we'll be taking up later this year. But I'm grateful for the support of senators like Roger Wicker of Mississippi, who was my lead co-sponsor of the Corps.
And as the Delta variant continues to spread, we're hearing a lot of talk about vaccine mandates, be it on college campuses, private businesses, or even now in the military. Senator, what do you think? Should there be vaccine mandates?
Well, in general, the American people have always treasured individual liberty and the opportunity to choose for ourselves what path we would take in terms of things like individual choices about health care. I happen to have 3 kids in college, and one of them is going back to his senior year where he's going to be able to fully participate in classes on campus, in no small part because the university is requiring every single student to be vaccinated. I think I would have answered that question differently 6 months ago. Today, I am much more open to vaccine mandates for people to travel on airplanes or trains, for people to work if a company chooses that or if a university chooses that. Because frankly, right now we're having a wave of infections really solely among the unvaccinated. 97% of the Americans who are hospitalized for COVID right now are unvaccinated. The encouraging thing, Jenna, is that we're seeing a significant uptick in folks who are becoming more confident in the safety and the efficacy of this vaccine and are choosing to get vaccinated. I would so much rather see this happen by choice and persuasion than through a mandate. But as the number of cases and the number of people in hospitals keeps going up and up, I can understand how some businesses, some governments, and some universities and other nonprofits are beginning to require vaccination.
And to your point, FDA could soon approve the Pfizer, so that might make a difference as well. Senator Chris
Okay.
Coons of Delaware, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jenna.